Good evening, everybody. System Chalk here with the 137th episode of our first run through the House of Light expansion to Book of Hours, playing as the archaeologist. We have quite a bit ahead of ourselves. I was actually thinking originally that I would take some time between episodes to figure out what memories I needed, and then I sort of just automatically started recording. So much for that, but that's fine. It's a chance for me to display the reasoning, which is kind of the point of doing the uninterrupted videos, for better or worse. So let's I think probably the best way for me to do this is I'm just going to make a note here in the on my tablet. So I'll just do the good old-fashioned read through the books of the library, and I'm gonna be noting these down individually to make sure that I'm not missing out on any major opportunities. So the Savage Hymn is Scale and Sky. The Secret Threshold is Knock and Rose. Heart and Sky, again, doesn't help us with anything that needs Forge and Moth. Foresight is Forge, though, so there's our first. And I'll start reading that. Now, I don't need to be too careful with transformations and liberations for reading, but I might want to be careful with using the Arab because I also want to do some cooking. So in this case, I'll use the Tryst, which you'd think is like, well, transformations and liberations need Moth. Well, I have the Fet, I've got the Tryst. I've got a few different options there. I could also use the Whist too, but again, both Tryst and Whist are hard to come by, and the Whist will be something that I use at the Pale Desk. So it's the best I've got right now. I believe we did the War of the Roads. Actually, I think we did a few of these. Probably the High Traditions of the Noble Endeavor is the next one that I'm on to. Okay, so Forge is taken care of. Next up is Impulses. I'm trying to remember. I believe we did the true and complete accounting of the Asclepian mysteries, so in that case we're on to Locksmith's Dream. So, we've taken up that desk. I guess this would be another Tryst potentially, because I don't want to give up the core if I'm using things for, we'll use a Faust here. Alright, so Confounding Parables doesn't help us. Storms don't help us. Patterns do, though. I believe we finished the Radical Measure. I actually think we did Just Verse as well, but we'll do Just Verse one more time. Now that could potentially be it. No, sorry, Regrets. Yeah, you know what? We can use the Shaft. We did Codex Acephali. I don't know if we did Lady Ava's Repose, though, so we'll do that one. And I wrote just verse instead of pattern. Nice. Not gonna lie, I was hoping for a bit more. Okay, this is the to read pile. So Hindsight, Winter, and Scale. Fear is Scale and Edge. Contradiction is Edge and Moon. Salt is Knock, Moon, Knock, Moon, and Winter. Solace, Heart, and Sky. Gossip is, Grail and Rose. Beguiling Melody, Grail and Sky. Bittersweet Certainty, Lantern and Winter. Stolen Secrets are Moon and Knock. Satisfaction, Grail and Heart. Intuitions, Confounding Parable without the Sky, Rose and Moon. And Revelations are Lantern on their own, which is inconvenient for me. So 5 we'll say is Touch. 6 can be named a riddle. Oh, yes. Okay. So 7's Confounding Parable, which says to me that maybe we use the occult scrap as the last option. There's that sacrament asset I was looking for. All right. Not my favorite set of options, but I can make this work. I'm worried I may have overdone it. Wait a minute. I keep forgetting that I need moth for... Oh, hell. I think I used the wrong... Yeah. I'm going to throw any old memory in here just so I can... Well, isn't that interesting? Okay. Okay, that's a start. Reveal a treasure to the house. Make the necessary invocations to the 3 to reveal a treasure of the house. I'd love to do this, but not right now. I was always trying to motivate these through the I think we can make this work through the books that we find. But I think finding them by mistake is fine. I actually think we've probably found that one by mistake a couple of times. But okay, conceive a mothy riddle. So we're going to have to do all of this all over again. So I may want to keep that tryst in my back pocket. But we've got enough to start. What's my next move here? Well, I guess my next move would be to start preparing all the dishes for the guests. I didn't actually really work out a menu here. So we've got... So it says here lantern for Arthur. I just want to double check if... I actually kind of think I'm not feeling so confident in some of these food choices. Okay, but let's go for it. So if I want the lantern, so the reason we made the cake batter, I believe was so I could do something like Madeira cake, which would take almonds. Alternatively, I could make a knot cake, which is a little... or a Cornish honey cake. You know what? Let's do a Cornish honey cake. And part of that's just because I've got a surplus of honey right now. Bake a Cornish honey cake. Dish with heart, lantern, and moth. So that, if I'm getting this right, that should take care of Douglas and Arthur. Ooh, but that complicates my winter options here. So boiled egg, stargazy pie. Actually, you know what? Roast potatoes will probably be the thing that, or mushroom meringue. Oh wait, but that's a pudding. So, yeah, you know what? Potatoes will save the day on this one. There's a side of me that kind of wants to do stargazy pie for the main. It does mean that I'm going to have to give up more dough. I don't know, it seems fun. The mushroom and potato bake would actually be a little funny given Eason as well. But yeah, I think I'm going to make another dough. And it's going to be dough... Oh, we can use an Arab for that too. It'll be dough with the specific intent of making a stargazy pie. I also think I should probably order some more. All right, mixed dough, an ingredient for a higher purpose. I think we can also get some invitations written as well. All right. So the two Moors will be easy to bring in. I am pretty focused right now on the memories I'm going to get from reading the book, so I'm not... there'll probably be some leftover elements of the soul by the end of the day, but that's fine. That's not... it's not like a... It's not a fatal... a fatal error. I'd rather focus on getting transformations and liberations to the top. Well, I guess that means that I'm going to put that in position 9 if I'm doing all that. Okay. Serena, I believe, is invited through Forge, which worries me a little bit that she may not actually be someone who's invited, or who consumes Forge. But we'll make it work. The pattern was reputedly preferred by Baron Thomas. Craft is learned through the tips of the fingers. Alright, so we're going to turn an element of the soul into some potatoes. I don't even remember where I put my potato surplus. This is a good start. So I've got a lot of fet to spare. I'll settle for that. These are potatoes. Spectacular. Now, had I been thinking, maybe I would talk with the chickens. I'll do one quick one, but we may have to wait to feed Terence. Was this magnificent and indomitable beast named for the rector's indomitable and magnificent housekeeper? Best not to inquire too closely. Now I just need to post it. Okay. Wakefield's up next. So I need to find something wintry. Well, there you go. I'm guessing we hadn't invited Lalakaima before. Something for me to remember next time. All right, that's going on the to-do list. Trying to think if there's anything else that I can get from the consider verb right now, but I think just leaving it alone and getting ready to level up transformations and liberations is the best thing I can do for it. At some point, I'll want to use it again for the to get the touch, but I can't do that until I've committed at least one lesson. Okay, and then the last invitation should be for Isan Fekri, who I actually don't remember what he took. Heart, right. That won't work. Come on, one of you's got heart. Too much trouble. Just use another desk. There we go. But I'm sure Easton will be grateful for the Stargazy pie, so it was worth the trouble. Now I just need to post it. All right, so we're not going to send these out until we're good and ready. I definitely have a few things that I'm going to want to get done. In fact, I might brew another pot of Cater and Hero, seeing as we're going to need some... Well, I guess we don't really need the lantern. We have other ways of getting that, but couldn't hurt either. And Peter Ecdistus. Is there someone en route to Hush House? All right, lots of things. All right, fixing and mending. As they used to say in my youth, the day is done and so am I, but I've earned my pay. Ah! So it's slightly tempting to bring back some of the other elements of the soul, but right now I'll settle for what I got here. So tuppence will buy me a hearty meal and a quiet place where I can rest and gather my thoughts. It is summer. I am sitting on the bench outside the Sweet Bones, eating crumbly cheese and nettle wrappings and good black rye bread, soaking up the sun. The High Traditions of the Noble Endeavor, a blandly positive work on the Endeavor Club published by the Endeavor Club. The club was founded in 1862 but claims to draw from much older traditions. Club members are assigned names out of noble myth, Joffrey, Roland, and unexpectedly Breadbettle. They claim to be heirs of the Leashed Flame, which gave the island of Britain such appalling power in some histories. Their endeavor itself is a purifying fire which makes its fuel something more than human. This transformation, however, is no longer encouraged by the club, and perhaps, the work is coy on this, no longer permitted. The Locksmith's Dream Trespasses, the third volume of Teresa Galmier's examination of parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. In this volume, notoriously, Galmier's prose begins to disintegrate, and it is not clear which dreams are in fact her own. The woman in the sand-colored robe told me, the stairways of the mansis go ever up, death is down. The mother of ants guards both directions with each of her heads, and so the passage must always be through a wound. I think the white door might be a wound. That's one reason the dead sometimes pass it. I think I have the other half of the secret now, and I hope my reader can put both halves together. Lady Ava's Repose, a meditation on the drowning of Lady Ava de Wolf and her two grandchildren, written in the years when the estate was abandoned by Father Theo once the DeWolf family chaplain, one of the few to remain on the Isle in those desolate years. There are so many stories of her heritage, so many rumors of her persistence, we might easily choose to believe the grand twins escaped, even that they yet live beyond the sea. Father Theo has come to believe that Ava sought an escape from a family curse, the pale heritage of Haffren, her forebearer, or the curse placed upon the line by the cunning man Red William in the time of Hendrik de Wolf. He had begun by believing neither curse was real, but, as the book concludes, he decides that he is determined to believe in them, rather than accept the three deaths as a futile tragedy. One does not so easily escape the long necessity of faith, he concludes. Okay, there's the regret we were looking for. Just Verse, a rare surviving copy of Christopher Olopoly's notoriously unsuccessful volume of experimental poetry published in 1912. Olopoly is clearly more interested in the occult than the aesthetic aspects of the work. By most measures, the rhymes are contrived, the meter inconsistent, the imagery banal. Still, even the worst verses have a compelling quality, and I find myself drumming my fingers on the desk to accompany the rhythms. In an afterword, Olopoly discusses mnemonic holometaboli, yep, I've definitely read that before, by which he seems to mean a sort of crafting process where memories, when fed into a preliminal meter technique in the presence of enough knock or rose, can blossom and fissure into more potent versions of themselves. Alright, there's the Cornish honey cake. Under no circumstances should this ever be confused with Devonshire honey cake, which everyone in Brankrug could instantly identify as an inferior variation. Dough. That's going to be where the bowls go. Alright, well, we'll let the dough air out for a bit. As much as I'd like to make bread, let's add the pilchards. Make Stargazy pie, a dish with forge, heart, moon, nectar, rose, scale, and winter. Because I think it's just the potatoes we... No, hang on. I don't think we have something for Serena yet. So I'm definitely taking care of the potatoes. A dish with edge, forge, heart, and winter. So I believe we're short of a first course. Now, the obvious answer here would be poached mackerel. And I actually like that idea because that'll make Ethan happy. But let's see if there are other options. So crusty bread, game chips, magnificent roast potatoes, almonds, egg croquettes, roast potatoes. So, I mean, technically I could go for a... Hang on. Yeah, no, poached mackerel is the first course. Okay. So, I mean, I suppose I could try and find like a winter first course. So boiled egg or a stuffed pale marrow. But you know what? I like the idea of poaching mackerel. You know, bunch of fish courses to keep Ethan happy. Sounds like a good salon. All right, Mr. Peter Ecdistis, musician, mystic, impresario. Ecdistis was a dancer once. One cannot see him without knowing it. The wound in his thigh keeps him from the stage, but his every movement still has the cadence of a prayer. And he is here on the affair of the Grunwald provision. After the dissolution of Grunwald's permanent circus, its assets were disposed of by the Bureau. That was during one of the Bureau's occasional funding crises, and the Grunwald provision sanctioned the sale of the circus's assets for cash, bypassing some of the usual checks for an Eric Hazard. In hindsight, this has started to look like a mistake. So we'll take care of that when we're done tending the birds. I really should bake bread and sort of go out and feed Tuppence and Terrence. Now, it wouldn't hurt to generate a few other memories as well, seeing as I'll need them for the name day riddle and the the name day riddle and the whatchamacallit, the curious hunch. Is this the way to the wood? But perhaps the wood is not a suitable place for a librarian. Okay, there's the replacement for Solomon's preparation. And here's the curious hunch. The moth's gift or mine? So sadly, I don't really see that I have many options other than to just generate these memories now, which of course means that the level for transformations and liberations will be quite late. We've got 30 seconds on that. So honestly, any old pair will do. Actually, one thing that I can do off the top, I guess we'll use the night sky chair for this. I will, I'll touch another chair just to get the I screwed up, because now this is going to get, spiked. Shoot. But if I use it as an input to a curious hunch, saved. And now it suggests a meal would be welcome. All right, so let's have a chat with Peter Ictistus first. How do you do, librarian? I crave your assistance. A friend of mine, he collects curios. Now there is something he wishes he had not collected. But how should I put this? It does not wish him to uncollect it. Try a book with as much heart mystery as their heart interest. So in this case, we've now graduated to 4. His new treasure is possessed by a malignity of nowhere. I think perhaps the hour they call the rising spider. If it is so, my usual protections will not serve against it. I hope that you can help me. So my first option would usually be the true and complete accounting of the Asclepian mysteries. Yep, we haven't given that to Peter yet, so thank you, my friend. My worry now is that if this protection is sufficient, he will decide not to dispose of the thing at all. He will hope to keep it. And against nowhere, the best protection is fleeting. I will use all my persuasions. Thank you. Okay, so a little bit of a wobble there, but I think we will we'll be able to see it through, although I should be reading another book at this point. Or doing something to generate a memory, but I think at this point reading a book is the safest option. Let's use a metal because of the edge. And I'm trying to think what would be a good match to... Let me just double... Yeah, so something with moth, but I mean, then we're back to the whole... no, I can generate a... I'll definitely... I definitely won't have the impulse kicking around. In a minute. Or if we do, I have bigger problems. I can, then I can make the name day riddle or something. Okay, so it's another foresight that obviously I didn't know that at the time, but... Inam Kapinglingpur Garki Krippus, in which 4 enigmatic figures tell the stories they've heard over the years at the Roost, the secret location where the Aviform Hours congregate. Inam, has not the beach crow shared his treasures? Garki, not the rarest, he takes those things most precious, which he claims found, not stolen. The beach crow, Kapinglingpur suggests, is not only a thief, but also a spy, or even a voyeur. He has hidden the memory of secret couplings among the hours and their names in the corners of the house as treasures to gloat over. There is particularly fevered speculation on a liaison between the Ringyu, that fervent hour of the wood, and the mare in the tree, who sometimes has been the witch's sister. Alright, so that's exactly what we needed. 2 transformations and liberations. There's the foresight. Put you in the pile. So we gotta wait on the touch in a couple minutes, but I think we are actually ready to... Alright, I want to be a little careful with this, but let's just go full steam ahead. So we did Sunset Celia and the Ended Days is next for Foresight. Use a FET here, but we want an Impulse. Pattern next. We're sort of rolling over, but I'm gonna change the which desks we're using. So back to advice on containment. Regrets. And then it's touch, named a riddle, and confounding parable, which of course will be generating in a little bit. Night Sky Chair, velvet smooth as midnight, sometimes seat of the Secretary Enigmatic of the Curia, whose responsibilities and even identity were not widely discussed, but might conceivably have been one called CC. Better now. So, new shopped. I'll use a metal in this. You know what? Just in case, we'll keep using the shaft. There's not much work on offer in Brandkrug, but I can find 6 pence worth of odd jobs. All right, there's the roast potatoes. There's the stargazy pie. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5th? Mackerel, right. So I think for this one I'll use the Faust. Poached mackerel. Dish with forge, heart, and bone. I'll also have to think about the different drinks that I'm pouring out, but actually one thing I can do is, I know we've got a whole lot of it, but I can drop a little bit of extra water. This should take care of Wakefield. I'm also going to need to move all the teapots. Ah, hell, where do I even put these? Okay, that's 1. I wonder if I can get away with a second somewhere on here. Nope. Okay, 2. Yeah. Okay. Apparently, Collar's office gets all the Sky tea. These are not particularly difficult to make, so I think I'm going to wait until the guests arrive to make sure that I've got their drink orders down properly. But the moment of truth has arrived. Transformations and liberations. Take the medal. At last I approach mastery. Improve the skill to level 8. And as long as I remember to get the impulse to the level, to turn that into a named a riddle, I should be good for the next round, remembering that we're going to use the occult scrap, unless I come up with like a brilliant idea in between. I mean, I guess there's the, yeah, there's an edge and forge one, but I don't know. We might as well use the occult scrap. I've kind of been hanging on to it for a long time and not using it, so yeah, that's probably what we'll do. All right, but that's it. So I think we might be able to get to a Salon in the next stream. I think that this should be Thursday's episode, so it'll be a little tight. Maybe we'll see if we can get the Salon for Friday. Otherwise, that'll be the next big milestone. Clearly, the main thing we want to focus on is getting transformations and liberations to level 9, but I don't think that's going to... Like, it's a challenge to get the memories in order, but we're pretty much there. The only other thing I need to do is just make that that name day riddle. Once we have that, it's really just it's just a matter of putting all the things in the right slot. But yeah, we will take care of that when the time is right. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.